Our next guest is Bill Milam. He is the executive director of the West Virginia Retired School Employees Association, and he serves on the board of the Public Employees Insurance Agency, PEIA. Bill, good morning. Welcome to the program. Great to have you.
Good morning.
Do you know Mr. Doyle by chance?
I have met Mr. Doyle. I used to lobby at the legislature, so I've had some contact with him.
Oh, very good. Yes, I knew you might
Hi,
cross
Bill.
paths.
Hi, John. How are you?
Excellent. Yourself?
I'm doing well, thank you. I'm still above ground.
That's a plus. Yeah, we all are. That's why we're doing this interview. Yeah. So, Bill, in the press release I received, it says, as Congress prepares to get back to work in Washington, many West Virginia seniors are worried about funding for Medicare Advantage, a program that provides additional benefits not available through traditional Medicare. More than half of West Virginia seniors have opted for it over traditional Medicare. However, despite its popularity, there is no guarantee that Congress will include funding for Medicare Advantage in the next budget. What is your knowledge of this bill, and any idea how the West Virginia legislature will handle this if cuts are made at the congressional level?
Now, I have no idea. I haven't been working with legislature for 4 or 5 years because they passed a law that you couldn't lobby and be on the PEIA finance board, so I gave up lobbying.
Yep.
So that I could serve my members better by being a member of the PEIA finance board. Let me give you a little background about myself. I am an education retiree from Kanawha County, retired 27 years ago, and I might add that 27 years ago I received my pension, and I haven't received a penny more in that pension in those 27 years. And of course, as you know, inflation has eaten up money all during that time. So the amount of money that I received 27 years ago does not amount to the same amount that I'm not getting now, because inflation and PEIA increased their premiums and everything. So that is one thing that, and John, you know that I talked to you during my times at the legislature trying to get pensions for our retirees, and we get raises for teachers, which we do appreciate because they deserve it, but nothing has ever happened for retirees except some little boost for those who've been retired for many, many years, and they deserved it. Do not misunderstand me. Those people deserved it, and deserved it probably more because they have harder times. But I taught and was administrator in Kanawha County for 34 years, and then I've been retired 27. Mm-hmm. And I've been the executive director of the West Virginia Association of Retired School Employees since 2003. And the West Virginia Association of Retired School Employees is an association representing all retirees of education, from the state superintendent down to the lowest rank of custodian or aide.
Bill, any idea how many people that includes? What your number count is?
As retirees or as regular employees?
In your association of the Retired School Employees.
Association, we have about 5,000 members in our association, but there are about 30,000 retirees right now.
Okay.
And from the highest level down to the lowest, so there's about 30,000 retirees.
So what are your chief concerns regarding the future of Medicare and Medicare Advantage?
Well, as I said, we have some older members who get very little on their pensions, and I'm not getting a whole lot. But if you take away Medicare and Medicare Advantage, then we got more financial responsibility to get our health, and we'll have less money to get it with. That's one of the main concerns, because you take away that, and our retirees, some of our retirees just won't have anything to do.
John Bodwell, can you explain the difference between Medicare and Medicare Advantage?
Medicare.
Yes,
Hold on, Jim. John's going to do it.
Original Medicare, Medicare Part A, Part B has a lot of holes to it. Every time you're hospitalized, you pay a $1,680 deductible up to 5 times a year. Medicare Part B is an 80-20 health plan after a small deductible with no cap whatsoever. You have a couple of chemotherapy episodes, that Part B, your expense could be $50,000. What Medicare Advantage does, it works like regular health insurance. It gives you a maximum out of pocket, just like you have on your regular health plans. And they generally throw in some dental, some vision, some hearing. They generally don't have a lot of premiums. It really helps. If you don't have a Medicare supplement, you have to have a Medicare Advantage, because one of the two, either way, if you just have original Medicare, you have no cap to your expenses. I can tell you, I'm not worried at all about Medicare Advantage going away. Dr. Oz has said stuff. Kennedy has said stuff. 55% of seniors are on Medicare Advantage plan. Government did a survey 2 years ago. 95% of them are happy. It would be a ridiculous mess if they took Medicare Advantage away. And they don't want to. They like the managed care option. One thing that Medicare Advantage does is it helps lower the amount of fraud in Medicare. Medicare is a payment system. If I'm a doctor or I'm an overseas person who's just made up a doctor number and done some stuff, I can submit bills to Medicare, and the odds of the fraud ever getting caught are infinitesimal. Medicare Advantage plans, there's an insurance company looking at it. The other thing that I don't see, with under 65 health insurance, you see procedures being turned down. You see a lot of problems. With Medicare Advantage, they have to cover at least the minimum that Medicare is going to cover. Every plan, every carrier is rated on a star rating system. They get more money from the government if they have a higher rated plan. Without having a higher rating, they get less money. They're more likely to approve stuff. I see formulary exceptions come through all the time. People are happy who are on Medicare Advantage. It gives them a maximum out of pocket. The government is not going to eliminate it.
John Doyle.
And I am on Medicare Advantage. Yes, I'm quite happy with it. But here's the problem. What was it, $880 million that the budget resolution calls to be eliminated from the Department of Health and Human Services?
Was it 880 million or billion?
They won't eliminate it from seniors because, quite frankly, who votes more than anybody else?
But
seniors.
How are you going to? I think you might be right. It might be $1 billion. I don't know how you do that without seriously cutting Medicare and Medicaid. I just don't see where you find the money. But that is why I am concerned about it. I understand your analysis, and politically it would be awfully stupid for them to do it. But they may have boxed themselves into a corner with this budget resolution that they passed.
Well, I think they're going to cut Medicaid. I mean, they've already said that. I think a lot of that money is going to come from Medicaid. Okay. And I think there's a lot of Medicaid fraud, and there was a lot of Medicaid stupidity through COVID. Because when people got laid off during COVID, everybody and their mother could apply for Medicaid and get Medicaid. A lot of those people were back to work a month later, but Medicaid kept them around without having to recertify for 3 years. I mean, I was running into people making a couple $100,000 a year reaching out to us saying, hey, I need health insurance now because Medicaid is cutting me off.
And are they still on it?
No,
okay.
They did a recertification. They finally, after three and a half years, started doing recertifications. They were keeping people on their
Precisely my point. They're not on it now. If you're going to take $880 billion out of the DHA's budget, it's going to have to come from places where that people are going to say, hey, I need this money.
Well,
so,
they just raised Medicare. The amount of money they're giving Medicare for 26, they just raised it over and above what they gave for 25. Right. They gave it a nice raise.
Bill, back to you here. Your thoughts on what you just heard.
Well, I appreciate hearing that. I hope that what was the gentleman's name, the insurance man?
Jonathan Bodwell, sir.
Jonathan and John.
Okay, Jonathan, I hope you're correct because I agree with you that there's no way they can do it and get by with it. However, John is a politician. He knows how they work.
Or don't work. He knows how they don't work.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
But I hope that, Jonathan, you are correct in that they won't. Because, like I said earlier, that's going to be devastation for a lot of our retirees.
Well, and I'm not saying down the road that they won't, but there's an awful lot of profit. These insurance companies cry and whine, but Aetna CVS is number 4 on the Fortune 500. United Healthcare is number 5. I mean, they are making money. A lot of them are making money on the under 65 health insurance and not as much on the senior health insurance.
They all pay healthy dividends.
Right.
But, I mean,
Bill,
people need to be taken care of. We're not going to have Calcutta.
let me bring you back in here on the Public Employees Insurance Agency, PEIA, because that's also become a very big concern among teachers and state employees who are on PEIA. You are on the board. What do you see as the financial future of PEIA in West Virginia?
Well, if we don't get some kind of funding from the state legislature, we're going to have a very difficult time. We're doing quite well right now. We have some expert people like Jason Hott, who is our financial man in there. He does a great job, and they just recently got a new director. I haven't had the opportunity to meet him yet, so I don't know how he's going to be doing or what his background is. But we each year when we redo our budget, we have lots of thoughts and we look at what we might have to cut. Unfortunately, we have done very little cutting on our PEIA benefits and very little increases on premiums. Like I say, I've been retired for 27 years, and most of that time I've been on Medicare and Medicare Advantage plan. Each year they say we're going to have a 5% increase, but then as we go through everything, we find ways to cut that down until there's none. In fact, Medicare people haven't had a raise since for about 5 years. Next year we are going to get a raise, and just like you can't go out and buy a dozen eggs now for what you did 10 years ago. So you're not going to pay for insurance today and get the benefits you got 10 years ago and pay the same amount of premium. It's not going to happen. Well, so we've got to face those sorts of things, and in PEIA we try to manage it as well as we can without making any increases in premiums.
Bill, we analyze plans all day long, especially in the fall. And I can tell you a lot of people who are on Medicare and have a PEIA Medicare Advantage plan are paying a lot more for their plan than if they just went on to the open market. The benefits are a little better in the PEIA plans than most external Medicare Advantage plans, but a lot of the Medicare Advantage plans don't cost seniors a penny, and the benefits are not that much worse. I'm not sure the PEIA is a big benefit for seniors on Medicare. I think it ends up costing a lot of them more money. I don't think it's good. I think it's a bad thing. I think it's a lot of former educators and former state employees. They're used to having that coverage, so they don't look around. They don't say, wait a second, what can I get on the open market? Wait a second, I can save $1,000 a year on my coverage by just leaving PEIA and getting a plan from a carrier?
Jonathan, are the plans that you show in Martinsburg available anywhere in West Virginia?
Anywhere, yes. West Virginia is one of the states where the plans are available all over the state. We have United Healthcare, Aetna, Humana, Highmark Blue Cross, Peak Insurance. I mean, there are plenty of providers. I know PEIA uses Humana, and Humana has had some issues.
So shop around is the lesson.
Well, shop around. If you have PEIA, call us this fall and let us show you what you can get. PEIA may be the best thing for you. It may not. But if you're not shopping things around, you're messing up.
John Doyle.
Yeah, Bill, Governor Morrissey has said he wants to have a special session of the legislature on PEIA. Have you been told, do you have any idea when that session might be called?
No, I haven't. I have no idea whatsoever. I've been told the same thing, that it will be forthcoming.
Okay.
Bill, there are some thoughts out there that the state should just get out of the insurance business altogether, give the employees the chunk of money that would equate to whatever the premium part the state is paying, and just let the employees go shop for their own insurance otherwise. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm not as well acquainted with what insurance is as Jonathan is, but I think that there would be a lot of people happy, and that would be insurance companies, because I think when you take what we offer PEIA and put it out on the market, it's going to cost a lot more for the individuals than what it's costing them through PEIA.
Bill, you need to call me at some point, and I can go through exactly what PEIA is paying. Let me ask you this. How much per Medicare beneficiary does PEIA pay? Do you have any idea about that?
No, I don't really. Not the
because I can tell you this. In West Virginia, what's called a Medicare supplement plan, where you have absolutely no bills. All you pay is the $257 Medicare Part B deductible. Then you can have 10 operations, 20 hospital stays, 1 million MRIs. You pay zero. For something like that, in addition to your Medicare premium, which all your people are paying, for about $150, $160 a month, a 65-year-old can have no medical bills. If PEIA is contributing more than that per person, they're doing their people a disservice, because most PEIA plans have $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 max out of pockets. PEIA in some ways is doing their members a disservice on the Medicare side.
Well, I'm going to have to investigate that a little bit. I was unaware of that being so bad.
It is. It is. It is a place the state could save a lot of money. And I hope there are people down there lobbying. If the governor does put together this special session, I hope there are people down there who understand how Medicare works, how Medicare plans work, and how much money the state is wasting on PEIA for retirees.
Interesting. Matt Miller.
It seems like PEIA never goes away, right? I mean, it is a discussion that we have every year, every legislative session. How do you deal with it? The can gets kicked down the road a little bit longer, or small things get done but never seems to be enough. Is there a solution? Or is this one of those things that the state of West Virginia may never be able to get a hold of?
Bill?
Well, the state of West Virginia is going to have to get a hold of it somehow. I do think it cannot continue like it is. What the solution is, I don't know. What Jonathan Bodwell has told us here, much of that is new to me. I was unaware of it. My suspicion is there are a whole lot of people in Charleston who are not aware of what Jonathan just told us. So maybe that will be part of the discussion. I just don't know. But I do think this. It cannot continue as it is.
Bill Milam, what did you say?
I don't have any comment on it.
Well, under 65, we need to provide health insurance for teachers, for state employees, without a doubt. But once the federal government's Medicare program kicks in, and if there are any legislators out there, I would love to talk to any legislator about this, because it's something I feel really strongly about as a West Virginian, as a taxpayer. I mean, anything that will help our state, I'm in favor of it. And if there's a way to take some of that money out of what PEIA is paying for people on Medicare and give it to the under 65s, give it to teachers, give it to people who are still working, I mean, I'm in favor of it. I'm a huge proponent of paying teachers more money. I'm a free market guy.
Is West Virginia unique in any way in dealing with this type of an issue as opposed to other states? Are other states dealing with something similar?
Bill?
You talking about the insurance or the pay?
The insurance, the PEIA.
Well, I don't know what other. I know that other states have insurance for their employees and their retirees, and I know from my meeting with the retirees over the past 20-some years, we have a much better program on our PEIA Medicare Advantage than do retirees in other states, because I can remember a guy from Arkansas telling me at one time that he was paying like $1,200 a month premium for his insurance, and we certainly don't do that here. So as comparing insurance item by item, I cannot do that. I don't know the statistics on that.
What are you telling your seniors right now in your association and those under 65 to do in the near future, Bill?
Say again?
What advice are you giving to members of your association, both seniors and non-seniors, right now?
Well, before talking with you, I was telling them it was the best thing that they could find. I was unaware that, and I will check it out, that there was such a waste in our Medicare Advantage program. And I'm going to have to check that out because I've never been told that by anyone else before. But I always tell our retirees, go out and check and see what you can get that will be better than this. And they come back and say, I can't find anything.
Maybe they will be able to now. You never know, right?
Maybe.
I'll send you Jonathan Bodwell's phone number. You guys can have a conversation.
I appreciate that.
I'd love to. And if you want me to speak to a group of your retirees, your association, I'd be willing to do it anytime, man. I like to help people, and I like to make sure people are educated as to their health care, as to what they can get and what they can get that may be better than what they have, man.
Okay.
Bill, appreciate your call in this morning. Thank you kindly, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bill
Bye
Milam,
now.
have a good day,
Bye-bye.
sir.